This is how I took this nicotine-drenched, outdated bathroom into a modern, moody Spanish cottage design. I'll give you some remodeling and design tips along the way too. Welcome back to Royce of Real Estate TV, where I talk all about real estate investing and personal finance to create a life you love. If you're into that, make sure that you like this video and subscribe. Okay, let's get into it. I bought this house a couple years ago and the interior was dated, not to mention completely discolored from cigarette smoke. Since this bathroom needed an overhaul, first things first was the demo. I'm keeping the footprint, the tub, and even the doors, but it took a really heavy cleaning process to get them back to new looking. A friendly reminder that this is what cigarettes do to surfaces of a house, kids. While the guys were doing demo, I was on the hunt for updated materials. The architecture of the house is Spanish, so I didn't want to deviate too far from that, so I gravitated more towards a neutral palette that didn't corner me into a strict Spanish design, but rather played well alongside of it. This linen look medium format tile had just enough texture to play on the wood look plank tile, and also enough movement from which I could pull some of the color, and the niche will be a marble mosaic to coordinate with the marble countertops. Here were the final choices. I had the installer put the linen look tile on a horizontal lay with a stack joint to play against the waterfall deco strip on a vertical line, but for a bit of an understated layout, knowing that once I started introducing more elements, it has the potential to get overwhelming quickly, so simplicity in the start. The countertops are marble, atop white shaker cabinetry, Moen water fixtures, and where I save money is on hardware, mirror, low-profile Glacier Bay toilet that mimics a more expensive Kohler model. Here you can see the after is already kind of a major upgrade from the start, right? Again, a neutral base actually gives you the ability to play with the style for years to come through simple things like paint and decor. Speaking of which, remember those nasty doors? I had them painted a dark, nearly black paint to give them more of a sophisticated and moody feel. And since the new surround was highlighted instead of hidden, I bought these amber glass bottles and labels off of Etsy to make the shower essentials more appealing. Now, fast forward a year plus, and I'm debating on overhauling the style in here. I had taken a trip with my mom through New Mexico and the Midwest and was inspired by the taupe colors along the drive, as well as the idea of being next to nature without the theme being too on the nose. So I felt like the marble and flooring had just enough browns to carry this very dark wallpaper and paint swatches throughout, but it took me a hot minute to really commit to this. I won't lie. One thing I could recommend for you if you just bought a house is to have your painters paint it white to begin with. You may need some time to really decide on paint colors, and anything from how much natural light you get in the space, the time of year, your decor, how you use the space, it's all going to have an influence. So when in doubt, just start with a clean foundation. I'll also say I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we have so many incredible resorts and restaurants here that compete for your attention and their appeal. So I'm probably partial to thinking that good interior residential design can be a lot more interesting if you're willing to take a nod from commercial influences. From that, I love a moody, unapologetic restroom. Like, who needs water when you can have scotch on the rocks sort of vibe? I'll also say, good thing that this isn't hyperlapse, because I'll admit I was freaking out a little bit with this first coat, but it's really about trusting the process. This is a bit more product, and while that first coat was drying, time to measure for the wallpaper. This is a drop match product, so make sure that you account for necessary waste if you choose the same. This is also an odd space, so it will take some odd cuts to cover this wall, which I was making the focal point. This is the point where I confess that even being into yoga, balancing on the edge of a toilet seat, tub, and countertop were awkward AF, you guys, to get this wallpaper up. And before you guys start coming for me in the comments about how much you hate wallpaper, you guys, it's 2024 and there are more non-committal products. Thank goodness this is peel and stick, because it definitely took some rearranging a few times to get it just right. Let me know how you guys feel about wallpaper though. I'm seeing it back on trend and I'm here for it, but some people, it will always remind them of wallpapers from decades past where it was essentially glued to your soul. Drop me a comment below about what you think about it. Okay, so after the wallpaper was all up, you can see the overhang where I have to go back and make the cuts. Again, since this is a drop match, the wallpaper lines up perfectly to look like a continuous pattern, so long as you take your time to align the sheets. I'll show you the line here in a second, and it's almost invisible unless you're super up close, and then it's nearly invisible once you back out. Once I got all the cuts done, it's finally time to start cleaning up and thinking about the decor, which is where you can really have some fun and change the feel of any bathroom on a small budget. I started with reinstalling the same wood look mirror that was in here before, since I liked its simplicity and coloring. I also kept the same matte black hooks that I had used before. I will say I'm all for mixed metals, and in this bathroom I have chrome and matte black. And to bring some dimension in from the floral and nature scenery on the newly minted accent wall, I'm adding some faux eucalyptus into this thrifted jar. I love buying fresh eucalyptus when I see it on sale, but for now, faux will do. If you need the counter space in your restroom, consider adding a floating shelf for decor instead. Oh, and if you've made it this far in the video, please like and subscribe to let the social media gods know that I actually, yes, do still in fact exist. And if you're against having decor in your bathroom or you're already crowded in that space, a stately mirror by itself goes a long way. This white soap dispenser has a velvety finish to the touch and a simple shape, so she gets to stay too. These Turkish hand towels with the geo pattern, fringe, creams, and black just add to the stacked textures that are coming together, and the maker even included this cute little sachet of lavender, which immediately went on my pillow like a fairy princess. Now guys, even odor protection can be stylish, so this room spray and musky candle stay available in the corner, and I like how the amber glass matches those in the shower. Now I debated having a rug in here, but since we're going for patterns and continuing on the theme of dark and moody, this chevron cream and black rug with fringe is going to be best friends with the Turkish hand towels and keep the eye moving as well. This is certainly a small space, so I chose a longer dimension to cover about 3/4 of the floor space to make it a bit more cohesive instead of doing a shower rug or floor mat right in front of the sink. Lastly, let's cap this project with a lovely piece of art. One of my favorite pastimes here in Scottsdale, and also when I travel, is to visit galleries and thrift shops, and I think that having vintage, antique, or original found pieces makes any space feel more curated. I was excited and a little apprehensive to add this particular piece to this space, but considering I already owned it, it's visually interesting and a little unexpected, I figured why not? I actually thrifted the art, which is an original oil on canvas by artist V. Helford, and the frame I also found in the same trip to the antique store. Once I had it matted, I actually couldn't believe it actually worked together, and the composition and the use of color is just really intriguing to me. Since your guest bath may be a well-trafficked area of your home, don't be afraid to display really unique pieces in there. As a tip, shop your local flea markets, antique stores, your grandma's attic, the unusual places, just to save a ton on art, while making your space look more original. As we wrap up, I will say on flips, I would have stopped at the after that I first showed you guys once everything was updated, but in your own home, you can have a lot more liberty. Here's a reminder of what I started with its brown, monochrome, nicotine-drenched vibe, and into a modern design with elements from things that I took inspiration from, like the taupes and browns of the New Mexican mountains, the coziness of the Midwest, probably some cottagecore on top of modern Spanish. Who says design has to have a singular style? It's your style. And with simple elements like peel and stick wallpaper, paint, hardware, mirror, and decor, even on a small budget and over a weekend, you can freshen up the feel of any bathroom. Thank you guys for checking out this makeover. Remember to like and follow for more, and I'll see you on the next one.